All right, my guys, I'm running the GoPro here, so hopefully the audio is okay. And the truck's still been here quite a bit. I'm finally getting around to removing some of the stuff here. I'm gonna start taking the exhaust, draining the fluids and stuff on this engine and getting it prepped to take it out, as well as getting the K24 prepped to put on the engine stand and then start kind of tearing it down. I got a bunch of parts I need to put on it, K20 pump, a bunch of timing guides and stuff like that to kind of refresh it basically, so we're starting with a good engine in here onto the swap. So today I'm gonna go ahead and run over to my buddy's Paco. I let him borrow the hoist last time, so I need to go pick him up for him so we can get this started here on the car. So let's go ahead and go pay him a little visit and we'll be back in a minute. There it is. It's my boy Paco. Say what's up. He hasn't been in the channel.
Been on a while.
Yeah, he hasn't been in here since, man, a year or two ago probably now at this point.
One of the first videos.
Yeah, I know he's in the power lock video, I think in another one too, I don't remember, but he was out here swapping out the engine. Well, not yet. He's waiting for the new engine, but he's gonna replace the one on his G37. And that's a mess.
I'll shoot some more content and then I'll send you the highlights so you put it on.
Yeah, so you guys can maybe see it all put back together, but yeah. That thing was heavy as hell, he said. He got the automatic on there, so yeah. All that is automatic transmission fluid all over the place. That's what I'm not looking forward to when I take mine out too. I'm sure if I take it with the transmission, it's gonna leak all the transmission fluid. If I separate it, it might still leak, I don't know. That transmission's old too on mine, so. But yeah, we got the hoist in here. Nah, it's just off. And we are good to go. So I'm gonna head back to the house, say bye to Paco there.
Adios.
And see you in a bit.
Told you to walk away. That was my first and last mistake. I'm blue without your face. But what can I do?
All right, guys, we are back in the garage here another day, and we are a little bit more settled now. You just saw us going to pick up the hoist from Paco's house. You saw my buddy Rowan help me kind of move the truck here, so we have a little bit more space to work around here. With the two cars in here, it's very tight, so we have a lot of stuff to do today. I'm trying to get the engine here, the K24, into the engine stand, which is right here, taken apart. We had taking it apart to save some space, but we need to put that together, put that in there, start taking apart the things from the K24 that we're not going to utilize, so we can start cleaning it before we take it even more further apart, so that we can start putting the timing guide, timing chains, oil pump, everything else that we're going to basically upgrade on that K24 and start prepping it to get it ready to put here on the Mazda. Now, over here on the Mazda, while we're doing this, we're also going to start taking some of the stuff apart out of this truck. We need to start draining fluids, so we're going to start with the radiator, then go ahead and get all the oil out, and then we're going to start removing radiator, exhaust, Weber carb, kind of everything here to start getting this ready to take the engine out. Again, we have a lot of stuff to do, so with that in mind, let's just get to work.
But I've lost in the moment. All I want is for you to come back. Now I'm caught.
All right, everyone, so the antifreeze is out and I made a freaking mess. I wasn't recording that, unfortunately, but I took the hose. I thought I had drained a lot of it, so I wasn't expecting a bunch to come out, but it was overflowing. It is all over this side. I managed to contain this side. You can kind of see probably a little kind of green shade there. It's a shame. The antifreeze was brand new basically when I put this on there. But since the truck messed up shortly after I did the radiator upgrade, it didn't even get a chance to use it basically. But we got the engine stand here put together. We got the hoist over here. We're gonna start getting this probably off the ground here. I was kind of worried because I didn't have bolts to go in there. I managed to find 3 of them, and then I have a longer one that can go through the pass-through here on the bottom, but I hope it's enough. I might have to go get some slightly longer ones so it just kind of grabs more of the engine. Since I heard this engine is a little bit on the heavier side, we are kind of making some progress. So this was unexpected, and I'm gonna have to clean up a little bit more and dump some of that antifreeze before I start kind of taking the oil out. But at least I believe we should be able to start taking some of this out of the way here.
Whoa.
All right, so I got in a little more sidetracked with the tearing down as opposed to the actual putting the engine here, still sitting here. But we got the exhaust header out of the way. We got the radiator out of the way as well. And this is looking a lot more tear down. I think this is the furthest I ever got in this truck tore down. I mean, it's always been one thing or the other that's been out, but never this many things. And we can see it over here, everything is on the floor. Look at this beautiful pace setter header here. It is the one that's ceramic coated. This thing, it is great looking, in great shape. Once I know for sure I'm not keeping or going back to this engine, I think I'm probably gonna post this one on the website for sale or something. We'll see. Again, also beautiful radiator here, all aluminum. I really don't wanna have to switch, but I don't know if this one is gonna work with the K24, mainly because the placement of the inlet out up here, or outlet, whatever you wanna call it, the one that goes on the top, if it was on the left-hand side, it would be perfect. But being on the right-hand side is a little bit more out of the way for the K24 since that kind of comes out towards the left. The bottom placement is great. That shouldn't be a problem, but just the top one. But yeah, so those two things are out. The shroud is out. Everything else over here, like I said, is coming along nicely. I did get accused in one of my videos that I didn't do my own work for some reason. Guy was kind of mad. I guess I didn't show 2 minutes of me removing 2 bolts. So if you're watching this, I do my own work, bro. Honestly, if I was paying someone to do this, I think I would be a lot further along, and that would be nice too, but I don't make that kind of money. All right, guys, so we're getting ready to put this in the air, and I just wanted to mention that I ended up getting a few extra things in here. One of them being this low leveler. This is overkill for this type of engines and this swap, quite honestly, but the difference between this one and the 3/4 was like $5, and this one looked more solid. And I figure, who knows, maybe one of my buddies wants to do a diesel swap, then we'll have it ready for them to kind of use it. You might not need this. I'll add this into the tool total at the end of our swap once we have all the numbers and everything. So just keep in mind, you might not need this, but we ended up getting the low leveler. We got a few more extra mats here, some prying bars that I didn't have, some brushes and everything that are back there. Again, you might not need all of this at all, but I will write it here at the top, everything that I got and the prices, because again, we're keeping a running total of everything so far. So once the whole swap is done, once everything's completed, I will have a video on everything that I spent, and then I will separate what is just K24 stuff you absolutely need, and then tools, what that total was, because you might not need all of these things again. And if you do need some of these things, at least to give you an idea of how much that might be. I think that is part of a build, whether you like it or not. Gloves, towels, everything like that, it all adds up. So I think it's probably good to have just some ideas of what that costs. All right, guys, so we got this other engine on the stand, and I didn't want to do this, but I had to because I couldn't freaking take the oil pan off, man. It was stuck in there. It's still stuck in there technically because the oil tray is supposed to be still here with the other front piece. As you can tell there, it's kind of all one piece together because the pickup tube is underneath the tray into the oil pan, and the oil pan and the tray seem fused together right now. I don't know what the hell they put under. Fucking regular type seal or some shit, but yeah, it's in there, it's stuck together, so I had to take it all apart here. From what I can tell though, this engine looks in good shape. It looked like it was potentially rebuilt at some point because we can see here some markings. I don't know if that's 11, so maybe they got rebuilt this in 2011, and you can see 2.0 down here. Yeah, it's a bit of a shame that I'm just taking it apart to get rid of it, basically. I just don't have the time and space right now to still try to find a home for it. I had it posted for a couple months, nobody reached out. I think in one of the videos I did, somebody had asked me about this engine. I just don't have time to meet up and see where they are, if they're gonna come pick it up, and like I said, I need to get rid of it. It's just going in to a recycling, junk jar, something, I don't know. But I just need to get rid of it. So that's why I'm taking it all apart without really taking careful consideration of these things. But if you are removing the oil pan, just heads up, that should come off first before the tray. So that way you can then remove the front tray with the pickup tube. Yeah, this was a mess. So I'm gonna start finishing up tearing all this, getting all the bolts. I'm gonna keep all the bolts and stuff like that. I always like having extra bolts. They always come in handy for other stuff in here. All right, guys, we got this whole thing all torn apart off the engine stand and everything out of the way. I don't want you guys to think that this was like a full, complete running engine. It just got torn apart for no reason. There were a lot of small details on there, missing bolts. There was actually missing bolts inside the pickup tubes with the oil, some around the head and all that stuff. So it definitely needed some rebuild. It was just a good candidate for a rebuild. But we are finally getting ready to start tearing down the K24 over here. It is a very heavy engine as it is right now, but we do want to keep a lot of things that are on there, obviously. Alternator, AC compressor, I'm going to try to reuse it. Hopefully it's in good shape. The power steering pump, we might try to adapt that at some point later down the road. So we are going to kind of take it off and then put it all to the side, somewhere store it so that we can reuse it. Throttle body we won't need since we are having to switch to a drive-by cable instead of a drive-by wire. I believe this is a drive-by wire. And then a lot of other things underneath here, fuel rail. We want that intake, we need to get a real wheel drive intake, but it does need to come off right now and just strip it down so we can hopefully maybe power wash it here in a bit and get it a little bit more cleaned up because it is very dusty, dirty, a little bit muddy on the bottom too, just because it was sitting outside I think when I bought it. So yeah.
And this can be the end. I won't just settle for being your friend. A broken bond is not too late to mend. But what can I do? 'Cause I'm just a sinking ship. And you're just
All right, guys, so I'm gonna take a little break here because I am freaking starving. I'm gonna go inside and get something to eat. But before I do that, I'm gonna talk about some of the stuff here. As you start tearing all of this down, like I said, I'm keeping everything turned down today just in case I need it later down the road. But things to keep in mind if you don't wanna do the same thing is keep all sensors. Any sensors you see, something like this on the intake, any sensors attached to any other hoses and stuff like that, keep them just in case you don't know if you might need them down the road. The fuel rail here, you don't need to take it apart, just take the 2 bolts and pull it out. Just be careful of that. I hurt my hand when I did that. But also intake and everything, the intake here is 1 bolt is starting to strip. It's starting to give me some trouble, which is annoying. But all of this, we're gonna take this out too because we can't use this filler neck. We have to use a different one. So I'm gonna try to take it down or at least take all the hoses off of it so I can wash it off before I take it off. And then all of these things here on the side. So once we are done taking all of this, it should look pretty stripped down, I think. And yeah, we are looking good here. As far as the top, I'm not gonna take this off just yet, just because the coil packs are in there. There's no hardness. That was the one downside of this. The hardness for the fuel and the coils, it was gone. So I am gonna have to get that anyways with the other hardness. So.
lips that I've lost in the moment. All I want is for you to come back. Now I'm caught in the middle of life.
All right, so we got everything knocked out, and I don't know if I got a clip of that or not. We probably saw it before this, but it is not the next day. It got super late, and I was busy doing my work and then having to clean up here and everything. But the engine is pretty much as stripped up as it's gonna be for right now. Obviously, we got a lot more to do on this side once we actually gonna open it and start switching the timing guide and everything. So for now, we're gonna go ahead and power wash it. I had this 3D printed cover here, which is a perfect fit for it, but I messed it up because when I opened the file, it was very thick, and I was like, oh, it probably doesn't need to be that thick, so I halved it in size of thickness, and now it's too loose. It was accounting for the thick of the metal, so gonna have to reprint that one. The one we did for the back though, perfect fit. You probably won't see it as well here. My lighting, obviously, with the dark out here, but this is also a 3D printed cover, and that one fits great. So it's gonna help us keep some of that water out of the engine so it doesn't go in. But yeah, we're looking good here. Let me just go ahead and power wash it.
And I need you to survive. She said, boy, I want you to walk right, so I can give you one more chance. Yeah,
All right, guys, so it is definitely another day now, and this engine is looking a lot better. Definitely not perfect. We still got quite a bit of dirt all around. I didn't get that good in there with the angles and everything with the power wash, mainly because I was kind of half inside the garage, as you guys saw. And I didn't want to keep spraying water here all over the garage. So either way, though, it is looking a lot better. Here is looking a lot better. This was pretty dark when we started. There's a few spots that definitely need a little more attention. Front cover looks a lot better as well. It used to be a lot darker than this before. So once we get all of those things off, when we start putting the engine on the stand and kind of redoing the guides and everything, I'm gonna take some time and clean that even better, since it will be a lot easier for me to get to those sides and everything that I can't get to right now. But yeah, I think right now, last thing we're gonna do is go ahead and pop this into the engine stand, and I think we're gonna call it a day. I am a talker, and I know this video is probably long by now, so let's get that done and finish this up.
Living in your damn head.
All right, guys, so the K24 is on the engine stand now, and I think I'm gonna have to go get some longer bolts for the engine here. The ones I have, they're just a little bit short. They're the only ones that kind of fit into the holes here, but they are grabbing about 1/2 inch off the engine itself, and I don't know, it just feels a little sketch. This bottom one is the only one that goes all the way across and has a nut in it. I might reposition this one and do the same thing over here just to be a little bit more secure. But I think the top ones, I do need to get some slightly longer ones. So I'm gonna go hit up Ace Hardware, make sure I got the right ones. But it is on the stand. It is now basically ready to start getting stripped down and prepped. I have a lot of parts that are gonna go into it, some OEM goodies. We got the timing chain, timing guides, K20 pump, all of that stuff, just so we can refresh that. Hopefully when we open it, we don't find anything else that needs to be touched or looked at, and we can just update those parts and then get into prep, ready to get in the truck. Now I'm gonna show you here on the Mazda where we left off, just in case. I did not take the engine out, or the Weber for that matter. I did start draining the oil down here, and just like I said, just getting rid of fluids and everything. Coolant is all the way out already, outside of whatever might be left and the heater core or whatever. But yeah, so we are looking good here. I'm not gonna take it out just yet because I just don't have a lot of space here. I gotta clear out some space on this side. I still got a few of the other ones that we stripped down to get rid of. So once I get rid of all that stuff, then we'll go ahead and take this out, since I don't have anywhere to put it right now. And it doesn't bother me being in the truck for now. So we're gonna leave it there for now. But yeah, we are looking good here. I think this video has probably dragged on way more than I wanted to. So I appreciate it if you stayed here. I appreciate you guys' support. Thank you so much. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, leave me a comment below. Those are all free ways you guys can help the channel and help support us. If you feel a little more generous and you want to check out the website, go and check out flakegarage.com. We have stickers, we have a few other things in there. We got links to parts and everything that I use on the truck in previous videos and everything. And I'll probably start making a list for the K24 swap there as well. So you guys can go ahead and start looking at some of those parts and prices already if you choose to. It might not be on by the time I post this video, but it will get there. So I'll have that for you guys later on. But yeah, that is all I have for you guys today. Thank you so much for watching, and hopefully we'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.